delighted to be here as Service2Media today. We want to share with you why a cross-device app lifecycle platform is a great opportunity to reduce costs in app development. I'll do that together with Aljazeera today, one of our customers. We are a company that is building multiple applications, a multiple portfolio of applications, and you want to reduce, let's say, the hassle you have with developing on multiple devices, the cost that it's inducing, and focus just on the functionality, the line above, just on your functional roadmap. And this is a story for you. Basically, explicitly made a platform that makes the implicit need for designing an application once, with a functional roadmap, and then deploying them on multiple devices, and then evolving these apps, updating them, upgrading them throughout their lives. And we've made that explicit in the platform, solving many of the industry issues today. And what I want to go over is a six-fold cornerstones, basically, of app development. It's the development itself, it's the manageability of the apps, the user experience, the security, integration, and also about globalization and language support. So if we look at development, I guess you're all aware of when you are going to develop native apps with SDKs from Apple, from Google, from Windows, from Microsoft. Then you're basically developing in silos. There are different languages, Objective-C and Java. There are different SDKs with different interfaces that you have to use. But basically, there's different environments as well. Basically, they're all doing the same thing, or you want to do the same thing. This is what we have tried to, in the platform, to overcome by abstracting the APIs and the interfaces from those different environments to one interface that can be used by your application in a script. We have built runtimes in native codes for iOS, Android, Windows and BlackBerry that do the hard work already. Then there is the lifecycle management, and often when you talk about cross-device development, we talk about development only, but it's of course also the design. It's the testing, it's the maintenance that you have after, and we have done a lot of native projects as well for our customers. And what we see is that these tend to get bigger. So the apps become bigger, so all these silos become bigger, and the costs involved become bigger. So the problem and also the solution is extrapolating when you take it over the lifetime of these. What we've tried to do in the platform is to stay as close to native as we can. So we use a lot of the native controls, like the date pickers, the list views, and these kind of things, to keep that native experience that people love today. And of course, mix it hybridly with some of the HTML5 things like graphics and etc. that are available on the web, and just make a very good user experience. Of usability, we've just started. If you look at the gestures that have come on to the latest tablets, they're indicating that there's a lot more to do, and it might be possible in a few years that you don't even touch the screen. You know, this is a glass screen just showing here, but maybe we're hoovering around like the Kinect, like doing like that to navigate through the app. So there will be innovation on that side, on the device side as well. And I don't think that the browser will keep up with that. So there will be always a place for some of the native features in the UI as well, next to the rest of the phone capabilities. What we have seen working for banks, in particular, that there's multiple levels of security needed to really implement the trust that security involves. Because looking again from an end-user perspective, it's all about trust and security. Provide that trust. So in the platform we have built in, for example, crypto mechanisms to save the data on the device itself safely, but also HTTPS, for example, the manager developer is taken as a secure session protocol, but it's not secure anymore. And in the security world, it's you have to encrypt the payload that goes over the security line. So this is all best practices that can be used. And there's mobile integration. I think this is an underestimated aspect as well of mobile development. We talk about apps and we see the app, but basically there's a whole world behind it. And there's been talked about the cloud apps already by John. And we have seen that a big part of the app development, next to design and development itself, is in the integration with the server side. It's a service side that, for example, we deliver elements that we can do push to the phone for all kinds of devices with a single interface. But it's also server-side integration with customer systems, your own systems, web APIs. And of course you could do those once again, so like SAP integration. And there is now all kinds of cloud services, and we've seen cloud services mentioned. There's authentication services, there's Facebook and Twitter, and those kind of, there's analytics, there's ad networks that need to be integrated, and they're more and more in the cloud. So it's very important to harness those in many companies that we work for that wants to have the apps, the same apps in multiple languages in different stores. And also that's something that you have to manage, of course. It's something we'll later talk about. Arabic, it provides issues that you'll encounter that we have all solved in a platform. So concluding, what we would like to say is that there is an opportunity of reducing serious costs and effort and quality, is improving quality by using an app lifecycle platform like we provide. And I would like to introduce Safdar.
All what Peter said is true. I'm not going to repeat it, and I can tell you the platform is a good platform. But what I'll do is I'll tell you the real story of us as a client and as a content provider, and the challenges we've faced and the benefits we've received by working with such a platform. So we did go for the cross-platform experience, where we're working on this project, but we're also building native apps, and we have mobile websites. So we've got experience across the board. Now this picture is, these are my colleagues in Doha. They're looking at the different apps we've been building. So we're targeting smartphones as well as platforms. The app we have here is our Android app, and the one on the tablet is the Honeycomb we're about to launch. So for us, it is very important to be on different platforms because we are an international company. Obviously, you know, especially for our English channel, we have a global. For us, live streaming is very important. So it's become normal for somebody just wanting to watch, you know, on a small screen, the live stream. So we do this high quality. We do it free of charge, especially for our news channels. We do have other sports channels also, and we want the best user experience. But I'm going to come back to this because live streaming, to be honest, has been one of our biggest challenges. Especially, I mean, on iOS, okay, fine, you can control the environment. But when you're speaking about Android, and we know the fragmentation of devices, it's really quite a challenge. But that's something we're doing at the moment, and we have apps out there, and we're also going to build some more. Now, user-generated content. This is something I wanted to touch on a little bit because we've seen, we saw in the industry, especially in the media industry, this shift in media, the ability for anyone who has a phone to be able to create content. So for me, this was one of the first times where we saw like, wow, this aeroplane has just fallen into the water, in Hudson River, just off the coast of New York. And the guy who photographed this had an iPhone, and then he tweeted it. So all the major news organizations picked up on this. Obviously other events are happening, but for me this was one of those which kind of came out to say, wow, there's people on the street there, or even on boats, and they're taking this, this user-generated content very seriously. So for us, we have a Your Media section, which this is very important to us for people to be able to send content to us. So I know there's a lot of videos out there, but those people who are shooting, how do they get it back to us or any other media organization? So this aspect of user-generated content to be built into apps is very, very important for us. Not only for the high-end phones, but even the low-end, whenever the capability is there on a device. Now, this is our Android app, which is in the market at the moment. Again, what we've done is we've tried to do the best we can to just add as many features as possible when the device supports it. We went for a very kind of a visual approach where you can see the images, very kind of mosaics, icons, to entice people to kind of click on them. And we've got good ratings so far, and for me it's just the first version. We've launched them, we want to kind of build on them. Something which Peter touched on is this challenge for language support. Mainly I'm speaking about our English and Arabic news apps, but we have a whole load of other apps Also, I mean, for Al Jazeera, I didn't mention, but we have over 20 channels. Majority of them are sports channels, and we're expanding into other countries. So now we launched a channel in the Balkans, in Bosnia, Al Jazeera Balkans. We're about to launch Al Jazeera Turk. So each of these channels, it's our mandate to really kind of have a mobile presence.